Before we begin today's post-game press conference, reminding everyone to please mute their mics and use the raised hand feature to be called upon. Before we open the floor to questions, Coach Tierney, please give us your thoughts following today's loss to Drexel.
Yeah, the end is always rough. We obviously got off to a start that we didn't want to have. And to be down 8 goals at halftime, that one is not in the manual on how you get yourself out of that one. It's just not. What it is just a lesson to teach young men that even in your darkest moments, there's a way out. And you got to figure that way out. And for us, I thought at one point in time we scared them, right? After being down 8, we got it to down 4. I don't have the stats in front of me. Maybe even down 3 at one point in time. I don't know. You guys would know. And but when you go down 8, you need everything to go right your way, and you need everything to go wrong for them. And we talked about it. We're going to be, the second half is going to be like blowing up a balloon. And, we couldn't hold them to being, scoreless in the entire half after having 10. But I love the way my guys responded. I love the way the staff responded. And for us to play like that after what happened in the first half, it just shows the type of character that these young men are. So I thank them for everything. It's a special class to me. And I can't thank them enough what they've done for Hofstra lacrosse. Questions?
Yeah, Coach, can you just speak on just your the last game with Ryan here, and he sets the conference goals record. Just reflect on kind of the past 4 or 5 years and what it's meant to coach him and here in Hofstra.
Kev, I knew this question was coming. I didn't want it to come today. As I told the guys in the locker room, I can yell, I can scream, I can motivate, I can coach. When it comes to goodbyes, I'm not good at them. And for what it was like to coach Ryan for 5 years, to describe it to you, how do you hit lotto 5 years in a row? Because that's what it was. As a dad and as a coach, first of all, as a coach, to coach this guy, this phenomenal lacrosse player, person, leader, like Lotto 5 years in a row. How lucky can a coach be to coach a young man like that? And then to have that young man be your son and to go through unbelievable highs and, like today, some devastating lows. Our relationship has grown and is as strong, and I'm a fortunate man. Even in my darkest moment at this point in time, I'm a fortunate man. So I love him. I don't know what it's going to be like next year. The first practice, I may yell at him anyway. He's not going to hear me, but I may yell at his, I don't know if you're allowed to say ass on these things, but I may yell at his ass next year, and he may not even be here. But I'm going to miss that young man. I'm going to miss seeing him every day. Brian, any questions? You're on mute. Brian, you're on mute.
what do you think went wrong in falling behind 10-1 there in the second quarter? Because then you guys looked like a different team after that.
Yeah, Brian, I just think, again, everything went right for them, and we got caught. I mean, we were ready. Obviously, again, I don't know what the second half score was. I don't even know, you stop looking at the scoreboard after a while, and you're just focusing on the next play. They were the team that got it rolling early, and we couldn't stop it soon enough so that the second half would be a game, right? If it was 10-4, 10-5, 10-6 going into halftime, maybe this conversation's a little bit different, but we gave up some shots from areas we didn't want to give them up from. We talked about it. We gave up some shots from people that we didn't give it up from. And then by the time we settled in, and once we settled in, I think you saw a different team. You're on mute again, Brian.
Gotcha. Is it very disappointing not going? It's been 10 years since the NCAAs. You're so close. I guess what's the feeling that you won't be going there?
Yeah, devastated. Devastated that myself, the staff, the players won't be able to represent Hofstra in the NCAA tournament, right? Everything that they've done for us and they continue to do year after year. It would have been great to represent Hofstra University in the NCAA tournament. Getting to the championship game, certainly a consolation prize, but a rewarding one to get that to this point. Or a couple of weeks ago, we were looking down at some darkness that we weren't maybe not even get in, and we just finished playing in the championship game. So there'll be some things to reflect back on. They're hard right now. They're hard to bring up because the pain is so. You put all this work in. The pain is so hard at the end that we won't be able to play again together next week. Practice, all those things. Monday, will be a different meeting, and then we'll, we're going to celebrate New Year's, and the guys that won't be coming back, we'll let them talk, and we'll let them leave the locker room, and then we'll talk to next year's team, and you start to cycle over again. Eddie.
Hi, Coach. So after watching today's game, you were within 4 goals of a top 10 team in the country, of potentially tying them, winning the CAA, what have you. A lot of that comes from that leadership. And because of this season, we've seen a lot of teams have these redshirted seniors, redshirted freshmen, Mike Robinson being one of them, as well as Sean Donnelly for Drexel. What have you seen this season in terms of the leadership from the guys who came back for an extra year, in terms of being able to help grow this team as a culture to even get to the CAA semifinal game where nobody had you picked?
Yeah. No, again, for Ryan and Bobby Casey and Riley Forte and Michael Altman, for those guys, to come back for a 5th year, for Alex Kincannon, Logan Denenza, and Justin Linsky to come to Hofstra for their final year. They did an unbelievable job of leading this team. And we had some young guys, right? I mean, we didn't have a full year last year, so we have, ended up having 2 freshman classes. And like I said earlier, Hofstra lacrosse is in a really good place because of that senior class. They have shown them what a good culture is, what a never say die, how to work hard, and not just say you worked hard, but actually how to work hard. And they've shown them the way, and they passed the torch to them. And now it'll be, the next year's class of seniors, and we'll see, who's back and if there's any transfers, and we'll get all that stuff. You put it on the back burner because you don't want to talk about it until it's over. And now it'll be time to start to talk about. JBD.
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to know about what you told the team after the game in that huddle, please.
I told them that I loved them. I told them that we're going to watch them celebrate because it's medicine. Medicine stinks to take, but one day down the line, that medicine helps. To see them celebrate on our field, we needed to take that. I don't know what you guys know, but Coach Volker and I, we're like brothers. We went to college together. We were captains together. We were in each other's wedding parties, and he had called me over, gave him a hug, congratulated him, and then he asked us to please take it into the locker room, not to watch it anymore. He appreciated us being out there as long as we were, and but I wanted our guys to see that. I think it's important to know the other side. Will.
Coach, you had a lot of guys, some guys who will likely be coming back next year. Tom Ford, Sterling Ardrey, Sam Lufty, Ryan Sheridan. They all played big roles for you throughout the season, especially in this tournament. What was that kind of experience for them, and how they played? What kind of confidence does that give you that you'll be right back in this game next year?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you never know who's coming back with who, but we've got some guys that are coming back, right? We talk about we're going to Dylan McIntosh, what he did at the end here and turned it on and was a hell of a player for us. He's actually hopefully is going to come back for 2 more years, and then on that first midfield, we're going to miss Riley Forte. He's a tremendous young man, but the other 2 guys, we're hoping that James Philbin comes back, and Justin Linsky Justin Sykes is a freshman. He was a freshman, and we didn't really tell anybody, but Justin Sykes has been playing with a torn labrum in his shoulder for the last 4 weeks. There's people that can't live with a torn labrum. This young man was playing with a shoulder that was attached by Scotch tape, and he gave everything he had. I was certainly thankful for everything, because he's one hell of a player, on the all rookie team. And then you get Sheridan, and you get Lutfi, and you get Ardrey back. You got a couple other guys that we are very thankful that are going to be coming back. Herber, Matt Gates saw a bunch of time. Tom Ford, stapling down the defense. I can go on and on. Dominic Pryor is going to come back. There's going to be a lot of familiar faces, and then certainly we'll see how our freshman class and everybody works this year. And obviously our goal is to be right back in that game and on the other side of it next year. Brian, you got anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions?
Just don't want to make you emotional again, Coach, but just if you could describe that Ryan's goal on his back to set the record.
Yeah, Kev, it was, I guess it was his first one, right? He was tied going into this thing. I say that because this freaking kid broke more records than I can't even keep track of them. That's how happy I am for him. And he'll give back all his goals for a win today. But that goal, he got crushed. He was laying on his back, and he still threw one in the corner. And I guess that's the one that broke it. I don't know what he finished up with the day. Again, normally the losing team wants the stats right away, right? Because they got to figure out why they lost, where they lost on the last game. I haven't looked at him yet, but whatever he had, I guess our sports information people will tell me, one day, everything that he has achieved thus far, player of the year this year, goals at Hofstra, points at Hofstra, CAA, maybe points, I don't know, goals, maybe, the kid has built one hell of a resume, and then gets drafted in the first 2 rounds of what could be considered the most deep draft ever with COVID and having 2 classes in it. And for him to go in the 2nd round, I mean, I don't even know where to begin to tell you how proud and how happy I am that Ryan Tierney's my son. I don't know what I did to deserve that one, but it was a gift from above to have 2 children. Just throw my daughter in there as well because I love her and she's on her way back from JMU. And, you know, I don't know if Mother's Day is going to be as joyous as it will be, but my wife, I want to thank her. They take after her more than they take after me. And I'm awfully proud of my entire family. But for Ryan to do what he did, to come to Hofstra so that we can experience this together. And on top of that, achieve what he's achieved, to rewrite the record books. I was hoping that we can get him one more game in the NCAA tournament. It wasn't meant to be, but I don't want that to have any type of blemish on what a superstar he's been and what he has meant to this program.
If there are no more questions at this time, this concludes today's post-game press conference. Coach Tierney, thank you.
Guys, thank you for the whole year. I appreciate all the coverage. I really do. I know sometimes you guys don't get thanked for the hours and the words and the coverage. It means an awful lot to me, and it means an awful lot to our program. And so I want to thank you for everything that you've done for Hofstra lacrosse and certainly CAA lacrosse. Thank you.